Hi and welcome. To first begin, I'd ask that you go to the email and select the registration link to create an account. And then once you've created an account, you can select the login link to bring you to this page to log in. Let's go ahead and do that together. What you'll see next is what we call the home page. You'll notice there are several different ways that you can actually go ahead and search for content. Under the anesthesiology concepts tab, you can type in any anesthesiology topic or a surgical procedure in the search bar to find relevant content. So for an example, we can search for content related to combined spinal epidural analgesia, and then we can select recommend content. So what you'll see next is the titles of several curated items that have been suggested based on the search term that we just put in. And so here on the left side, you'll see the content type, whether it's an article that you'll be reading or a video or even an open anesthesia keyword. You also see the time estimated to complete that content, the level, 0 being beginner, 5 being more advanced, as well as a link to the content. So let's go ahead and select this article here. It would be roughly 10 minutes to read and a higher level, closer to advanced, a 4 out of 5. And we can go ahead and select view content. So what you'll notice is that once you select view content, the content will actually open in a new window in and of itself. Some recommended items might require a login information to that site. In general, our curators, we try and avoid content that requires another login. However, in some cases, these sites really contain the best information or even the only good information on certain concepts. Once you're done reading the article, you can go back to the recommended content by simply going back to the original window where the generated content is. You can now rate the content relevancy. We highly recommend you do this, and it will really help us fine-tune the AI model by suggesting the most relevant content to your search. This is one of the key reasons we're doing a beta testing, as what you'll notice is that sometimes you'll put in a search and content that's being generated is not relevant to the search itself. So it's just as important to rate something as very relevant as it is to rate something as not relevant at all. So for our article that we looked at, it was actually very relevant, so we'll give it the double thumbs up. You can also rate more than one source of content at once, and you can use the dialog box at the bottom to paste a URL of your own suggested content that you would like to see us added to the system. This could be an article, a podcast episode, a YouTube video. Just place the URL here and we'll take a look at it. Now, the final thing is very important. Click Submit Ratings and Recommendations for your ratings and recommendations to be saved. Now, in addition to searching for content in the Anesthesiology Concepts tab, you can also search for content that has been curated for specific curricular training areas. Note the curricular items are actually divided into tabs under Procedural Skills, Core Skills, and Non-Technical Skills. Let's go ahead and look at Procedural Skills. Here, you will be presented with a drop-down menu of different procedure types. Let's go ahead and select Airway Management Bag Mask Ventilation. What you'll notice here is there's a complexity level where you can just go from beginner to advanced. Let's select advanced. In order to see the content, you would then select recommend content. Next, let's look at core skills. Under the core skills tab, you'll see a drop-down menu of different entrustable professional activities. We can go ahead and select one, such as cardiac surgery, perioperative care. Again, we'll select the complexity level. Let's go with beginner. And then to see the content being generated, we select recommend content. Lastly, let's look at non-technical skills. Under the non-technical skills, you'll see a drop-down of different skills to choose from, such as crisis management or effectiveness as a teacher and presenter. We can select one of these and then choose an overall entrustment level from beginner to advanced. Let's go ahead and choose intermediate. To then generate the content, you would select recommend content. We do ask that you do a lot of searches and ratings as this will really help us train the AI model, which is the purpose of the beta testing period and the study that we're doing. But this is just the beginning. We hope that you enjoy it and really play around with it and do a lot of ratings. But we have more coming. We're working on a mobile application that has even more features such as AI-driven content recommendations based on your OR schedule, adding content to your personal library, or sharing content with other users who are using the application. We are pretty thrilled about the different ways that AI can be used in precision medical education, specifically within anesthesia. and your feedback will really help shape the future of this. So thank you very much and enjoy.